Well, this morning, I'm not really going to share from the manual. I just want us to look at certain practical issues concerning our lives. From now to for the next 1 hour. For the next 1 hour, that's what we are going to be doing. Then Grandpa will come at 9. So as people in the ministry, there are certain things that we are going to be involved in, and we need to understand certain concepts. I'm talking about marriage. Now I know that none of you is married. Yes, but you are going to get married. Okay, and with marriage and ministry is very important that we don't wait till you get married before we talk to you about marriage. We have to tell you what it is and then how important it is in terms of your ministry, because we have seen a lot of ministers who have been swayed, some of them have even lost their ministries because of the choice of a spouse and the choice of a life partner. So, and you can't also marry without first being in a relationship or without first getting somebody. So I want to take your questions on relationship and marriage and answer them for you. And maybe when the questions are done, I'll just add certain things that did not come up in the form of questions. Yeah, so any questions?
Okay, Daddy, my question is do you have to know where God is sending you or the plan of God for your life before you choose somebody to be your wife? For example, maybe you know that God is sending you, God is taking you, you have maybe an international ministry for something like that. Do you have to know some of these things where God wants to take you so that you can take a wife? Maybe because one of the things I've realized is most of the time we see that men of God and their wife, maybe there are some kind of problems, and one of the issues that mostly pop up is maybe the man is not having time for the wife. So I want to know, do you have to know some of these things so that if you are choosing somebody to be your wife, you will know that this is where you are going, so that you get somebody with that same mentality to follow you.
Okay. The issue is when you locate the right person, whether you are going into international ministry or any kind of ministry, the most important thing is locating the right person, the one that is a suitable companion to you. Now, the reason why sometimes, because it's not all the time that you know everything before you meet the one that you want to marry. But you see, you, the human being, there is somebody who can come into your life, and you see that this person coming into my life, he or she is going to help me. He or she is committed to me. So if I pass through the valley, she'll be with me. If I pass through the mountains, she'll be with me. Now, you may say that, okay, I know that I'm going to be the president of Ghana. So I want a lady who looks like a first lady. So now, she looks like a first lady. Okay, you are going to be the president after 40 years because you can't be president before 40. Now, by the time you become president, your idea of who a first lady was that you had 20 years ago will change. Or your idea of who a first lady is, she will change from that, So you just get somebody who is committed to you, somebody who loves you, who is prepared to go the journey with you. And Bible says that you should love your wife and your husband. So when you marry the person, you will stick with the person, no matter. Well, it is when we try to bring it to the level of the world that you say that, okay, somebody married somebody, then the person didn't know that God was going to lift him to certain levels. Maybe he married an illiterate, and God is now lifting him to certain levels, so that the wife cannot fit into that. No. Why? Now we have people who go to adult school. So why don't you take her to adult school for her to fit into it? You understand? Because when you marry, you, the man, you are responsible for your wife. In a sense that what you want your wife to be, what you have seen that you like, that your wife lacks, you are supposed to help her to get it. And what you have seen that your husband, you like that your husband lacks, you must also help him to get it. Are you getting me? Yes. So the most important thing is, who is the right person for me? Who is the right person for me? After you have prayed, committed your life to God, like you are born again, committed your life to God, you are growing in the things of God, growing in purpose. You know that you love God, you want to serve God, you see, then you pray that God should guide you to the right person. Believe God that God will guide you to the right person. Of course, it doesn't mean that you by all means have to get a dream before you know your partner. Sometimes God will assist you in dreams and visions, but the dreams and visions will only come to shape and help you to be aware. Sometimes there's danger ahead. God will show the danger to you in a dream. Sometimes He will prompt you. But in most cases, you have the peace of God in your heart. That this person, if this person, I from the way that I've known her, like, first of all, the person must be born again. You see, the person must be committed to you, the individual. She must demonstrate enough that, or he must demonstrate enough that he or she loves you, like is committed to you, not because of anything, but she's settled in her heart that you are the one for her, and you are settled that she's the one for you. When that one is sorted out, all the rest, they are manageable. Okay. Any questions?
Daddy, my question is, realize that sometimes because ministry, for instance, you're a minister, or for instance, you know that obviously you're going to be a minister, and so you are very serious about the things of God and all that, and then you are very enthused about the things of God, and then you also want to marry. this person that you also are looking at, this person is also a serious person with God and all that. Because of that kind of, you see, because the person is also enthused about ministry and all that, mostly, is it really advisable for, because both of you are really enthused about ministry and all that, is it advisable to, is it okay with you guys dating? Because both of you are very enthused with ministry, and in marriages, for instance, if you are married and then this one is going to preach in Afghanistan, this one to UK. So that is my question. Is it advisable?
Yeah, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You see, at every point that you are choosing a spouse, the one you choose is going to be a reflection of your state. Spiritual state, emotional state, physical state. That's why a lot of the work must be on you. So if you are somebody who is carnal, at the point that you are making a choice of a spouse, you are going to attract somebody who is carnal. Yes. And if you are somebody who is mindful of the things of God, you are definitely going to look for somebody who is mindful of the things of God. The person may not, let's say, for instance, let's say you know that God has called you into ministry. Or you may not even know, but maybe you have an idea that God has called you to ministry. Of course, you attract somebody who will love what you are doing. So you will never, if for instance you are in a relationship with somebody and the person is despising the kind of thing that you have been thinking of doing. Maybe you love the things of God, okay? Maybe you love reading the word, you love going out to preach. You are not yet a minister, and you don't know that maybe God will call you to ministry. You just love God. You just love to preach, love to pray, love to read. But you meet somebody who is like me, these prayer things I don't like. This always reading Bible things I don't like. That person should not attract you. I mean, he will not attract you. Yeah, you understand? And you will not also attract that person. So at every point, the state you are in, the person you choose will be a reflection of the state you are in. So it's like there are no mistakes in choices. You choose exactly somebody after your heart. That's why when people are unbelievers, they don't go looking for believers. I mean, they will choose people who satisfy if they want people to be in a relationship with, they will choose people who are just like them. If the person likes clubbing, you will not go and choose somebody who doesn't like clubbing. You will choose somebody who likes clubbing so that they can all go for clubbing.
Daddy, the second question is about love issues. If for instance, character but is it, for instance, there could be, for instance, someone who is having all the character, everything, okay, the person is a good person, but they realize that, for instance, probably you don't really love the person. So in that case, is it you, for instance, go in any case because the person is having the character and all that, or you still have to consider?
Yeah, the person has character, but she's not the only one with character. So if you don't like the person, there's no reason to enter into a relationship with the person. Because the reason I'm talking about this, you see, it's not only marriage is not just about the fact that the person is good or has character. The person must be attractive to you. I mean, I'm talking about physical attraction. Much as physical attraction alone is not, in fact, that's not the first consideration, but it is also one of the considerations. If there is this particular person that you don't feel happy working with even in public. There's no reason to go and marry the person, because you marry the person and you create problems for yourself and the person. Do you understand? So we have scale of preference. So there are things you look out for first. We have the core subjects, the elective subjects. So there are things that are core. You look out for spiritual things first, character issues first. Somebody who is not wild. You see, when I say wild, there are people who are wild plants. But the thing is, when you come to God, you must become domesticated. You must become tamed. But the person has worldly taste, worldly ideas. Then make sure you help the person to grow more. He has worldly taste, he's a Christian, worldly taste, worldly ideas. You see that where you are looking at, that's not where he's looking at all. You create problem for yourself if you enter into a relationship with a person like that. And then also, these are the important things. But then the icing on the cake is that the person must also be physically appealing or attractive to you. Otherwise, it will not make a good marriage. Because marriage is not just about, even though you see, when you get to know a person, you get to know the person's soul, the person's inner qualities. And then, because the physical appearance can change. But there must be something between you and the person. We call it chemistry. Something that you like this person. Oh, I like this person. If the like is not there, you don't have to go and marry the person.
Daddy, last one. What about, for instance, you see, sometimes you've completed school, and then, for instance, you are working already, and then this person that's okay, you also want to date, the person is probably in level 100. So that one too, is it advisable? Or is it okay anyway? If you anyway want to, for instance, go all the way, it doesn't matter, for instance, you have a long way ahead of you to marry anyway. But this person that you want to date is in level 100. And then you've completed school.
You have completed school. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, because you see, even in cases like that, you may even have some breathing space to grow in other areas. For instance, you have completed school. You don't have a job yet. Okay, now you are looking for a job. That one, the person is in level 100. So by the time the person finishes, like 4 years later, by that time you would have at least gotten the job, started something, settled in a way, so that when she finishes, maybe you can, after some few years, you can get married. But the thing is that when you want to get married early because of self-control issues, it is dangerous. Even though Bible says that let each one marry rather than burn. Okay, but the thing is that marriage doesn't solve last problems. It doesn't solve last problem. So if the thing is, okay, I've completed. She's level 100. So that means I have about 4 years. Even if I'm to marry, even right after school, she's married right after school, then I have 4 years. So when the 4 years is due, then maybe we'll get married. But then you are thinking that, no, for the 4 years, I don't think I can wait. If she's the one that you want to marry, then you must wait for the 4 years. So that one, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong. But the issue sometimes is that the reason why long courtship is discouraged most of the time is because of the sex issues. it's because of the temptation issues. Yeah. If that one is out, there's nothing wrong with long courtship. If the two of you, maybe you are doing this, she's doing this, and your age is the age that you want to marry, maybe you want to marry at age 27. Now you are 21. You are 22. Maybe she's 21. Okay. So we have about 5 years ahead of you. Had it not been for temptation problems, the 5 years is not bad. It's okay. For you to develop your lives, so that when you are ready to marry, by that time you would have developed certain aspects of your life. So that when you come together, the thing will be solid. So people say that, okay, I can't control then you must find an antidote to that. Because when you get married, people think that sex is just like, like getting up and bathing. So it's like you are going to, that is what that is the marriage. That's not the marriage. You see, it's part of the marriage, but that is not the marriage. So that will not cure the problem, lack of self-control. Many people will marry and still their mind will be going somewhere. You see, and it affects their marriages.
Daddy, please, in school, like the school, we advise the lecturers. They advise us not like two nurses. It's not advisable for two nurses to marry. And the reason being that the work is quite involving, because maybe the two of you will be on the morning shift, and who will take care of the children? So they tell us that as two nurses, they shouldn't marry, so we shouldn't even look at each other. And sometimes they tell us funny jokes that even those who have started a relationship, they should even stop because it's not going to end anywhere. Please, does it really matter in ministry? If the
two ministers should not marry.
No, two ministers, they love the things of God, and they're also pursuing nursing at the same time.
You see, then they must pray about it, because the thing is, maybe you're not going to be a nurse all your life. And circumstances differ from couple to couple. And there's always a way out of issues. So that alone should not be a factor that prevents you from marrying the person. If the person is the right person for you. You understand? If the person is the right person for you, that alone should not be a factor, because even now there are nurses who are not even practicing. Because government says you will not employ them now. So, maybe, and you see, the consideration should be your Christian life consideration, ministry considerations. Now that you know that God has called me, I'm going to enter into ministry. That should be part of your consideration when you want to get married. But two nurses or two bankers or two doctors or two teachers, somebody also said that two teachers will not marry. It's a joke among teachers. In those days when teachers were poorly paid, now their pay is okay. They said that two teachers, if you marry, your home is going to be, you're always going to have lack money. So at least somebody should be this and somebody should be that. But it doesn't follow that way. The most important thing is locate the one who you think is the right person. When you locate the right person, every other thing will fall in place. Then you see, when there are some people who will come into your life, and you see that when they come into your life, you are becoming worse off than better. You must quickly rethink and know that this person cannot help me, because two are better than one. And it's better to break a relationship than to break a marriage. Because once you enter into marriage, you are not coming out. You see? But you always have signs, but because of the so-called love, you may overlook all the signals, the red flags. If the person is coming into your life and your life is worse off, not getting better, you see, even now that you are not married, you are already always crying like a wife who is, now that you are not married, you are even like the burden on you is more than even somebody who is married. You are now always sobbing and crying. You are not married, but you go to your bed and you are crying. You are crying because of the guy you're in a relationship with. When you get married, you will cry blood. The tears will be blood. So that is a signal that this thing is not going to help me. You see that you are not married. This guy you are not married to. This guy can even beat you. Because no matter who you are, when you get married, you and your spouse, familiarity will set you. You see, right now, let's say that you are not married, you are in a relationship, you are a pastor. Your fiancé, you are a pastor, and your fiancé, it's like, oh, you are a pastor, you are a man of God, you are this. But when you get married, it will not be like that. She will respect you as a man of God, but you are on the bed, the same bed with the person. So the thing is, so the kind of shyness or that kind of thing will reduce. So if he beats you before marriage, he will beat you more after marriage. If he insults you before marriage, he will insult you more after marriage. Because after marriage, that kind of thing that, when you are in a relationship, it's like everybody is putting his best foot forward. It's like everybody, when you are putting your best on your best. That thing will not apply in marriage. In marriage is raw. The person you are, without your makeup or without your nice haircut, that person you are, that's what you are going to deal with in marriage. So there's a thing that familiarity will set in. Familiarity will set in. So it means that what the signs you are seeing, you don't have to overlook them. You have to be mindful of them. And put it in your mind that I'm not going to enter into marriage and come out. It's wrong. It has a lot of evil consequences. Because it's a covenant you have broken. And sometimes we don't see that. We think that, it's normal. No, divorce is something that the Bible has talked about. And Bible is clear that if a Christian, you divorce, then you should not marry again. And God still sees you as one flesh with your former husband or wife. Unless there's an issue of infidelity. So when you enter into the marriage, you are locked either in prison or paradise. That's why I said that when you enter into marriage, you must make every effort to make sure that this thing, it becomes better and better. It's for your own good. But if you're not married yet, there's no reason to, be trapped. Already you are going to be trapped when you get married. Now you are not married you are trapped. No. You must be free to know that this thing will not help me. Let me pull out now. Otherwise, when I enter into the marriage covenant, I can't do anything about it.
Daddy, my second question. Let's say you found the lady that you want to marry, and then you are in a relationship. Everything applies, like, as in, you like the lady is good, and all these things. And then the lady sends you home to show you to your parents. And then the father asks you, what work are you doing? And you are like, oh, I'm going to be a pastor. Or maybe he asks you which tribe, and you're like, I'm an Ewe. An Asante man asks you which tribe, and you're like, I'm an Ewe. And the father is like, he won't accept the marriage. He's against the marriage. Daddy, in that case, are you to allow the lady to go? You know that this lady is the right lady. Are you to allow the lady to go, or you are to pray for the man to go out?
You see, like these things, they are practical things which happen. They happen. But the thing is, number one, in this part of the world, it is families that marry, not individuals. In this part of the world, it's not individuals who marry. In the Western world, for instance, individuals marry. Sometimes they will just go to a pastor, buy a ring, marry, before they even show them to their parents. But here, it's not like that. Here, the two families are marrying. You see, so if one family does not accept the other, there's no way the marriage will come up. So the work you have to do is to make sure that he finally comes to accept. Because you can never marry somebody's daughter if the person doesn't give his daughter to you. The person says, I'm not in favor of this marriage. I don't want my daughter to marry this person. You can't do anything about it. What you can do about it is maybe you can pray for the man to change his mind. You can maybe use some other people who are influential, who can let the man understand that from this tribe, it's not really a problem. The most important thing is the person's heart. Are there not people in your tribe who are also bad? Oh, yeah. I mean, somebody who said, oh, if my uncle married somebody from this, and maybe the woman maybe was very evil and this, so they said that my children will never marry from that tribe. It's wrong. That woman who did that, the same tribe, you get somebody who is very, very sound. And the thing is that when the anka ubeye born again, yeah, it's not about, you see, our backgrounds and all those, like if you become born again, you are married in Christ. It's not you are marrying a tribe. But because the parent, the mother or father will not understand, then you must pray or you must get somebody who can explain to them. Otherwise, you can't go ahead with a relationship. Because a relationship that is going nowhere, it will be a waste of time. Let a person go and you will find somebody else. So what are you going to do? Are you going to elope? Run away with the person to go and marry somewhere? No, you can't. I know somebody who wanted to marry a lady. They had been in a relationship for quite a long time because the person was doing architecture. And when he wanted to marry the lady, the mother of the lady passed a certain comment which was denigrating, like the comment was defiling the man's tribe or the man's family or the stock from which he came. Then he said that he's not going to marry the lady. He said everything. Men of God came in, pastors, we said, let's call it quits. You see, in that instance, I thought that it was a mistake because it is not the lady. If the family says something bad about your tribe, but after all, allow you to take your wife, that you take your wife and go. It's not the lady who said that thing about your tribe also. It's maybe the family. Okay? Now, when they don't place a barrier or an impediment on you marrying their daughter, and they are just saying nasty things about you, no problem. You marry the lady, and you can prove them wrong, so that they will even change their minds.
Okay, Daddy, this question came up in class, and I want to ask. We are having a lecture, and one of our lecturers made a comment that a true Christian cannot practice, cannot be a gender activist. A true Christian. And he was saying that gender activists are the people who talk of equal rights and those kind of things. And he raised a comment in class, but I didn't comment about it. But I have a different perspective about it, that a true Christian can still practice a gender activist, like can be a gender activist. So I want to ask you, can it be possible that a true Christian, a believer, can practice a gender activist? That's my first question.
Who is a lady?
Yeah, or male, being a gender activist.
Okay, first of all, let's define gender activist. Is it like, because I know that maybe women who are gender activists, like equal rights for women, yeah, and all that. Yeah, why can't you can? Somebody can be a Christian whose passion is that.
His point was that those who do that normally say that men and women are equal, even in marriage. So they want to always be at the equal level. But the scripture said that the men are the head and the women are to be under the men, like being submissive. But those people don't understand it that way. So the key word over here is submission. The word submission about women. And of late, I've seen that that's one of the very big topic that is being deliberated on. That word submission. Women. What is the explanation to it? Like submission as a woman, especially in marriage. What is the explanation?
Okay, we were not here last night. Okay. Because I touched on that. But you see, let me take it from the gender activist point. What do they advocate? They advocate that women must have equal rights with men, opportunities. They must be heard out. They must be given opportunities. Personally, I think it's because the thing is, let's say politics, and they will say that, okay, let's create slots or space for women deliberately. Let's encourage them to take up political appointment. But the thing is that nobody has said women cannot participate in politics. Nobody has said that. So there's nothing like women cannot. It is when there's a law that maybe women cannot participate in politics, then people are also advocating, no, it's not right. Let's repeal that law. That is what I believe is gender activism. Like in the 1930s in the US, women were not allowed to vote. Women were allowed to vote after 1930. You see, so if that is the case, then the women are advocating that no, allow us to vote, allow us also to. Then that one, there's nothing wrong here because they are all part of the nation. You see, then when they are saying that give us equal rights, nobody has taken any rights, equal rights from women. So there's, in the first place, I don't think they should even be saying that. But the problem has always been a cultural problem that in our society, because of the background of the forefathers, how they lived and the kind of understanding they lacked, they regarded women as second-rate or second-class people. And that is what has accounted for it. So a lot of women themselves think that they are second class and they must be given opportunity to come so that they will also be first class. It's because of the perception. But in actual fact, in politics, for instance, a woman can enter into politics, but you will see many. It's a male-dominated area. So when a woman is a politician, people will start saying that she's a prostitute. You see, so they too advocate that no, allow women, encourage women. Like now, the girl child, now even the boy child is now suffering. Because from the early 90s, they said the girl child. Let's encourage the girl child to go to school, the girl child to do science. Now, there are more girls even in doing science and even going to school than boys. So you see that now it is even going to the other side. More women are even going to school than men. There's nothing wrong with being a gender activist. Now, when it comes to marriage, when we say that the man is the head, the woman, if the man is the head, then the woman is the body. Now, if each one of them knows the roles they're supposed to play, it's a matter of roles. It's not a matter of post or position. It's a matter of roles. The head helps the body too helps the head. Without the body, the head cannot function. And without the head too, the body cannot function. So in that sense, they are equal, but differently abled, differently wired. Like the Bible said in 1 Peter chapter 3. Let me read 1 Peter chapter 3 to you. Chapter 3, verse 7. Husbands, likewise, dwell with them with understanding, giving honor to the wife as to the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers may not be hindered. As being heirs together of the grace of life, where we are joint heirs. Joint heirs means that we are equal on the same level. When it comes to our spirits, we are equal. There's not a different spirit for a woman or for a man. We all have the spirit man. Your spirit is genderless. When it comes to our brain, it's equal. Men don't have bigger brains than women. It's not true. Even there are some women who are capable of higher academic pursuits than men. So the brain is not the difference. The only difference is the body. The body and the personality. And that difference, because it's from God, is good. And the difference doesn't mean that one is inferior, one is superior. It just means that they all have different roles and they all have different things they are capable of doing. For instance, what a man can do, a woman cannot do. And what a woman can do, a man too cannot do. So a man needs a woman needs a man equally. So if you are the husband, you are the head. Now, the head doesn't mean that you are the boss. The problem comes in when we begin to associate headship with boss. And in our part of this, in this part of the world, we see leadership not as service. You see, leadership, for instance, leadership has become like chief. You see, to be served, not to serve. So if you are the head, you are the head to serve the body, and the body to serve the head. Now people sometimes say that, look, I'm the man. I'm the man. You have no right to talk to me. I'm the man. Shut up. When I say, if you always have to say, I'm the man, it means you are not really in charge. I'm telling you, because you see, the man is the foundation of the family. God created man first, the woman. No, He created man and woman, both of them on the same day. Man was formed first, The woman was formed second. Then children came. So man, the male model man with a man body was the foundation. If you are a foundation, foundations are not even seen. They are not seen, but they are in charge. Being in charge of something doesn't mean that you are everywhere giving orders or everywhere shouting and doing this. No. So that mentality, for instance, there are people who, let's say you are in ministry. Say, when you come to church, you are a pastor. Let's say you are the senior pastor when you come to church. Okay, so you give the direction, you give this. Now, when you go home, you are a husband. The head is the one who takes the decisions. Okay, but the head cannot go without the body. So you realize that in marriage, there's a lot of negotiations and compromises. Otherwise, it won't work. If you, the man, you want to have your way always, it's what I say that must happen. You can't say anything else. You'll be miserable. Likewise, the woman. So there's always compromises. Then also, roles. The definition of marriage is not about the roles. You all have different roles you are playing. Now, we all know that traditionally, it is women who cook. That is traditionally. That is not biblically. Now, the women cook because women naturally have an instinct to take care of. They have a motherly instinct. They always want to take care of people because that's how God made them. And they are home keepers. So naturally, they cook. That's what they can do well. But it doesn't mean everybody who cooks is a woman. Because we have male chefs who also cook. In fact, there are some people, there are some husbands, they can cook better than their wives. Yes. Some of them can cook very well. And some of them, so if let's say that you are a husband, you are a pastor, you have gone home, you are hungry, maybe, so you want to, I'm in charge, so you go and get me my food, come and put it on the table. When I finish eating, take my bowl and go and wash. There's nothing wrong with that, but personally, I believe that why can't you take your own food and eat? Why can't you take your own food and after eating, why can't you wash your bowl? Does it take anything from you? It doesn't. It doesn't. You see, when we go married, my wife wanted to serve me, so like that, let me serve you, and after, so I allowed her to do that for some time. After some time, I said, no, before she would come, I would have gone to take my food. And sometimes, she me with a bowl, and I'm eating whilst I'm coming. I'll come and sit at the dining table and eat. When I finish, I'll take the bowl and go. Because there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean that I'm not the head. I'm still the head. I'm the head for responsibility. Because the spiritual stature, the spiritual burden of the family, of my family, is on me as a husband, as a father. It's not on my wife, it's on me. I'm supposed to be at the gate, protecting them by the grace of God in the spirit, giving them direction, the direction that the family must go. The spiritual direction is from me. That's my role as the head. Serving your family, serving your wife, taking care of your wife. That's the head's responsibility. How many people say that the woman must be the one who even come and iron the man's shirt? Say that's what a woman should do. Iron my. No. Why can't you iron her dress for her? Would that take anything away from you? That would not take anything away from you. Why can't you iron your own and iron your wife's own? The kind of things women go through for men, we men, even we don't go through half for the women. Yeah. Even look at pregnancy. pregnancy, how they must carry this pregnancy for 9 months. And you, the man, you are free to go everywhere. Sometimes, like me, for instance, I just got up, took my around. I took my bath around 6. Around 6. So I just took my bath. I just came. Why? Because she's there to take care of things. So you are free. You are always free. Sometimes, like, for instance, you are a pastor. Your wife is always with the children. You're at home. Always. You have the freedom. You are moving in and out. You see different people every day. So there's some kind of social things that you will not lack. This because you always see people. Maybe she's with the children at home and she's seeing just these people all the time. So at least when you also have the opportunity, you must also serve so that at least she too can be relieved. But we have this male chauvinism which must be discouraged as pastors, as ministers. I know one man of God who is a friend who, when he got married, the wife was a banker. And, working in the bank, it's like they don't close early and all that. So the wife had a car, and the wife said, "Oh, take the car. In the morning, you go and drop the children at school. Then maybe you drop me at work. When it's evening, when the children close on school, you go and take them to their grandparents. Then you go and pick them from that place. Come and pick me at work. Let's all go home." The pastor said, "I'm not a taxi driver." You see, the work you are doing, it was not too demanding that you couldn't do that. Meanwhile, all that is going on in the house, she is bringing the money. You see male chauvinism. So, I'm a man of God. How dare you tell me to come and drive you? So who should drive her? Now, as I speak right now, the marriage has been dissolved. Oh yes, it has been dissolved. Now it has been, they have divorced. Because the rift was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it got to a point, he traveled to South Africa to do ministry and all that. Then she was calling him to come back. So he sent a message to her that the marriage is over. Let's, if you can marry somebody else. He came over. Then they did everything. Now it's over. And we were all blaming him that he is the cause. What is wrong with you? You have a car. You have the car. You take them to work. From about 9 to the time they close, whatever you want to do, you can do with the car. It's yours. You are not buying the fuel. You can run your errands. You can do many things. But the idea of the idea that you are telling me that come and pick you from work and come and pick you and so that I will drop you and come and pick you like as if I'm a taxi driver. Taxi drivers, I don't know human beings. That is one thing that we should kill in ministry. Otherwise, you will not enjoy your marriage. If you are a man and you always want to have your way, you always want things to go as you want, you always want to be served, you will have frictions in your marriage. Yeah, but if you make up your mind that you want to serve, you will see that there's nothing that you can't get your woman to do for you. Because she knows that you have her interest at heart. There are many people, if the woman will do all the cleaning in the house, he will not do anything. She will do all the cleaning. A whole lot of burden. And yet, the man will tell her that, what are you doing now? You are doing nothing. if we go by Jesus' way, we really want to study who a head should be. It's Jesus' way. The head is not that, you see, when you say that the man is a head, by the way, the man is not the head of the woman. The man is the head of his wife. Okay, so if you are not married to the person, you are not the head. The Bible didn't say women submit to men. It said submit to your own husband. As the church submits to Jesus, if the person is not your husband, you are not under obligation to submit to him. Oh yes. So and then also the head, he said the Jesus being the head, God is the head of Christ. Christ is the head of man. A man is the head of woman. So how many heads does a woman have? So her own head is there. The husband's head is here. Christ's head, God's head. No, you are just using the word head as a figurative expression to represent that responsibility. Because your head, you see, the Greeks believe that the blood flowed from the brain. And the Greeks, they believe that the head was the most important part of the body. It was later on that people saw that, no, it's the heart. But they believe that every part of the body is connected to the brain. Every part. Which is still true. Before your hand will move, your brain must give signal to your hand. Move. Your hand will move. So it gets to a point where your brain says move. Your hand cannot move. That's when you have gotten stroke. So your brain controls all. Like it's connected to all. That is the duty of the head. And also the head thinks. The head thinks. The head, must reason and give general direction. You see, the head is the leader, and the body is the manager. So the husband is the leader, and the wife is the manager. So if you want somebody who is a wife, you must look out for a manager. Somebody who is a manager. The leader is the one who gives the general direction. That this is the direction we are all going. The leader. Then the body is the manager. The manager is the one who sees to the block upon block implementation. Sometimes leaders try to manage and they make mistakes. And managers try to lead and they make mistakes. Leadership is about vision, direction. Management is about building. So you say that the woman is a builder. She must be somebody who builds. She must be somebody who is meticulous. That's why they like details. Women like details. Men don't like details. Men are like, oh, generally it's good. Women are like, no, how good is it? You want to know how good it is. For instance, let's say that you're in a relationship. Your fiancé, who is a woman, will ask you, so what are we doing now? Like, the marriage and the all thing, how have you planned? He said, everything is under control. You, a man, in your mind, you know that I will take 3 steps, and I'll get there. And you have calculated everything, so you are in everything. The woman wants to know, day 1, day 2, what are you going to do? Day 3, what are you going to do? Day 4. So sometimes there's friction because she wants details, but you know that generally this is what it's going to be. For instance, sometimes I'll tell my mother, okay, this person has given birth. I didn't ask whether it was a boy or a girl. I don't really ask, So as you are telling him, boy or girl. So my Musa. I know Musa. I'm sorry there. And sometimes it's real. There are instances where I'm saying things, I'm telling my wife things, and her questions will let me know that I skip a lot of things. Maybe I'm telling her a story or something I've heard. The questions that she will be asking me, say, this one I didn't ask you. This one I didn't come to my mind, But she will be asking questions. So it got to a point I told her that you allow me to say it as I heard it. Don't be asking me questions because I don't have answers for you. Yeah. So that is it. Okay, any question? Because if we say that the head is the boss, now in your home, who is in charge? You, the man, you are in charge in a sense. The woman too is in charge in a sense. The woman can make your home uncomfortable for you. I have a friend who has run from his home. Ran from his home. He has run from the house. And he's living with his sisters. Run from the house. So you think you are in charge. You see, that's why people tell them marry and then they get a shock. Because in a relationship, the woman will be like, oh, whatever you say is okay. Whatever you say. Especially when she sees that you are the bossy type and you are the one who is a chauvinist. She will say, oh, whatever. She will never let you know that she doesn't like that. When you get married, then you will see who is really in charge. That is when you have the shock of your life. Yeah. Because once you have made a commitment, you have married, you show that she's in charge. Because a woman can change the atmosphere of the house. Yeah. She can change the atmosphere. You, the man, you don't have that power to change the atmosphere. When a woman is sad or troubled, the whole house is troubled. When a woman is agitated, the whole house is agitated because they are homekeepers. So you think you are really in charge. You're not in charge. So you come as a man, you are the boss, everybody should you should run away. The woman can make you a small boy. Okay, yeah.
Last question. Is he if a man, in a marriage, if the man washes for the wife, is it something wrong or is in the extreme? And also, my last question, the other question is, who is a spiritual woman? It's becoming one of the very tough issue now. Like there is some kind of thing that is attached to a woman that is spiritual. I've seen on campus for some time now that a lot of Christian relationships are not ending well. But when they start, they have this conclusion that the girl is very spiritual, the lady was very spiritual. But at the end, it doesn't end well. Like different all things together. So first question, is it an extreme to wash for your wife? Like wash everything for her? Everything.
Okay.
Everything. And
Okay.
who's a spiritual woman?
Okay. For the first question, to wash for your wife, there's a direct scripture. So a direct scripture that says husbands should wash for their wives. So let me why are you taking your Bible? Anyway, let me read a scripture to you. Ephesians chapter 5. Ephesians chapter 5. Chapter 5 verse 25-26. It says, husbands, love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for her, that he might sanctify and cleanse her with the washing of water by the word. So Christ was the one washing the wife. Yes. So By the way, so there's nothing wrong with that. You see, one thing is that both the man and the woman should know that there should be a certain understanding. For instance, there are some women who, when their husband does something for them, because of their immaturity, or let me say, because of their lack of understanding, they will think that, oh, then the man is, the man has gone down or something. No. Now, if you're a woman, your husband wants to do something for you, you must allow him to do it for you. And then you must appreciate him for that. Appreciate him for that. Then also, if your wife wants to do something, you must allow her and appreciate her for that. A woman can wash for the woman. Okay, if your wife is sick, if she is sick, can't you wash for her? Is that a taboo? It's not a taboo. But you see, traditionally, women have been known to be those who wash. But it's not a stereotype. Men too can wash. There's nothing wrong. Men can sweep. Can't you sweep? Have you not been sweeping in your secondary school? Yes. Yeah. Have you not been washing your clothes in secondary school? So it means that washing is not a taboo for men. Sweeping and scrubbing is not a taboo. You can do that. Just that you see, the woman should not also think that when the husband is doing that, then it means that the husband has maybe lost his mind. Or if you think like that, then it means that your mind is not renewed. You are still in the olden days where women thought that they didn't have the mind, they didn't have wisdom. I remember in 2006, we were doing a work at Aguna. Then a certain woman came, she wanted to suggest something to me. So she told her that when the manager comes, call me. When I went, she said, Mira, Bacho, you get go to in person. She come with you in Eja, may your buy me answer. And but oh yeah, that's what she said. And it was a figurative way of speaking. She was an elderly woman. He said, Eja, may your buy me answer. And you could tell from her age that she belonged to the old generation, where women, they said that women didn't have what it takes to reason with men. So when we are doing discussion, the women will have to leave. That's past. It's past. Now it's not like that. So now we need to be very careful. Otherwise, you have problems in marriage. If your mind is the old mentality, where the woman must serve the man must not serve the woman, you have problems with that. When we got married and my wife got pregnant the first year, I was the one doing the cleaning in the house for one whole year. We didn't have a house help. I was the one who was doing the scrubbing of the bathroom, the bath, the mopping of the floor. Because I said that that was the first pregnancy. I said, I don't want you to do anything that maybe you will slip and fall. So let me do it. And I did it. I did it for one whole year. Oh yeah. I was sweeping, cleaning. And one thing she said was that, she said, and you did it well too. Because she was saying that, okay, some will say, let me do it, but they will not do it well. But you did it well. That would that take away my anointing? No. So if I also want her to do something, why can she say she won't do it? She can't. Because she knows that this, and so this thing that I did, now it is like something that is recorded in the archives. Yes. 3 points. So we must learn to serve. You know, the way some people treat women as servants. It's bad. It's bad. You are a man. The woman must polish your shoe. No. Oh, yeah. Polish my shoe. Iron my shirt. No. Why can't you polish your own shoe? When you were in secondary school, you were polishing your shoe. Why can't you polish your own shoe? Why must it be your wife who must come and polish your shoe for you?
All right.
Daddy,
Yeah. Who is a spiritual woman? Is it spirituality? Is talking about how the Holy Spirit has control over your life. That's spirituality. How the Holy Spirit has control over your life. So that Paul said that, are you not carnal? You are not spiritual. He didn't say you are not spiritual because you don't speak in tongues. You are not spiritual because whereas there is self-seeking and there is strife among you, are you not carnal? So a spiritual woman is the woman who is under the control of the Holy Spirit. The same thing applies to a spiritual man. Are you okay? Now, sometimes we think that, spiritual is audacious. Spiritual is audacious. You see, this person that I said that the wife has driven him out of the home, the wife is very prayerful. She's those kind of women who can do very, very, very prayerful. Very prayerful. She can pray and do all these things. So that is not spirituality. That one is spiritual fervency or zealousness, which is also good. He says, do not be, he says, be fervent in the spirit. So it's also good. You love the things of God. But your first thing, the spirituality is first of all your character. Bible said, let the woman's dressing not be merely outward, rather let it be of the hidden man of the heart, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is precious in the sight of God. So, as a pastor, you don't judge the wife of the pastor or the wife of the man. You don't judge her her spirituality by how vocal she is or how audacious she is. You judge her spirituality by how she's controlled by the Holy Spirit. Her speech, how does she speak? You see, you don't say that, this lady is audacious or she's spiritual, because the way she prays, the way she preaches, when she gets the mic, she's like, you're in turbine. No. How does she react to situations? How does she speak to people? How does she interact with people? You can have somebody who's audacious, but who will not even relate with people. You are even like a filthy something to her. So you can have somebody who's audacious and the person is not spiritual. So if you want to consider somebody's spirituality, look for those things. The same thing applies to the men. If you want a man who is spiritual, don't look out for the one who can preach, or the one who can prophesy, or who can lay hands. No. Look out for the man who can serve. How does he speak to people? How does he speak to women? How does he speak to ladies? Somebody who can have the time to even listen to you. So people sometimes are trapped that this man is it's a spiritual person who just I want somebody who is audacious. No. In the home, you need somebody who can talk for you to hear. In a church, before a crowd, you can be doing that. But you don't do audacious at home. In the home, we are talking about somebody who can handle situations. who can calm down tempers, who can diffuse tension. You see, peacemaker. Somebody who can be down to earth, serve, love. For instance, you're a husband. You are maybe let's say you are a father. In a home, as a father, you must be able to bring everybody together, unite all of them. That's what makes you a father. When you can bring people together, unite them. That is what makes you a father. When you say you are a father and you are fighting with this one, you are not talking to this one, and you flare up with this one, you exchange. You are not a father. You are a sibling. You are a brother. Siblings have rivalry. Fathers don't have. Fathers, they bind. They don't scatter. And you need that virtue in a man. So look out for these virtues in men. Yes, because in the house, that is what you need. I mean, Reverend Otabel said something. He said, you people think that in my house I wear 3-piece agbada. He said, no, when you come to my house, he said, I wear my shorts and my t-shirt. In the church, he's Reverend Otabel. When I mention his name, the image that counts is 3-piece agbada. But to his children, maybe some common t-shirt and shorts and some chilewati or something. Yeah, so that's what it is.
Okay, Daddy. Okay, Daddy. My question is that I know a lady. She's a friend, and like she's in a relationship, but then from the way things are going between the lady and the guy, it's not good. I mean, some things are happening, but then this girl believes in, I don't know if I should call it destiny, about the unique way he met this guy. You know, because it's true. The guy has helped him to know much about the love of God, and she had a lot of problems, but one way or the other, this guy has helped him and has really helped her in a spiritual life. So even things are not going well, yet I told her to quit it. Even though certain things are not, but then she still believing, Pastor, the way we met. And the guy always imposes that on the lady, that even though, things are not going well, but let's remember how we met, how God is using her. And I mean, a whole lot, and I once spoke with a guy, even though I feel like the guy liked the girl, but then she's not that, she doesn't even know, the guy fully doesn't know what he really wants. That's how I saw it, even though he was saying that, oh, this girl, I love her, I'm going to marry her and all that. So I want to know about this destiny thing, like that sometimes some people doesn't want to break out of a relationship because of they believe the spiritual way or the unique way, even though things are not working well for them. Yeah, and I don't know. So you went and then I asked you my last question. Okay.
This one, you see, there is no reason why you must continue a relationship that is taking you nowhere. Absolutely no reason why you must continue a relationship that is taking you nowhere. It depends on the things that are happening that are not going on well in the relationship. If, let's say, it's a relationship and, for instance, as an example, this guy is beating her up, you see, and the girl is saying that, oh, because of how we met.
Let me make it clear. Like, they haven't had sex, but from the way things are going, it's very easy that something like they have been kissing and doing a whole lot of things. That's why I was advising her to quit. But she still believes in, God brought this person in my life. Above it all, he has been a blessing. He has helped me to get to know the Lord and all that. Yeah.
But you see, what he's doing now, he's not helping her. He's not helping her. So she should she should solve the problem this way. If he's not prepared to change, she should leave. Because he's not helping her. And you see, anytime there is sex in a relationship, it is your marriage that is suffering. Whether you are the guy or you are the lady, know that your marriage, you have taken something away from your marriage. So the thing is not about, we are trying to see how far we can go. So kissing and all that. No. Those things should not be part of a relationship. A Christian relationship, it is just friendship. That's all. Nothing more. No kissing, no illegal touching, no kissing, no fondling. A Christian relationship shouldn't have those things. You can't say you are in courtship. You say romance. You don't play romance in a relationship. If you have romance, play it in marriage. You understand? Yeah. So when you see that things are going that way, then you must apply your brakes, because the marriage is suffering. The foundation of your marriage is your relationship. You see, this guy who is doing that, you will see that if he has been able to do that to you when you were in a relationship, it means that he doesn't have any wall. When you marry, he can easily do it with any other person. You are not going to be the only person. The marriage will not bind him unless he changes. If you are able to help him to change. How? You can tell him to go and see a counselor or somebody. Or the two of you must go for counseling. Then you need prayers. Then you can change. Otherwise, it's a marriage that will suffer.
Daddy, and my other question is that maybe even though you haven't had the confidence to tell someone that maybe you like, that maybe you haven't let the person know your interest for her, but then you are afraid to God that, God, maybe when I am ready, I want you to bring this kind of person in my life, because you like the person and the person doesn't know, but then you have been praying to God. I mean, is this something good that you have to do? That like you are praying to God that, God, when I'm ready, I want you to send this particular person in my life so that, I can even let the person know how I feel for her and everything. And my okay, well, can you tell God that? Okay. And also, maybe can your reason for not being in a relationship be that you want to, as in, be in charge of maybe the purpose of God for your life? It's like you have, at least, even if you have not fully discovered, it's like now you know where you are going. Not just that, but also it's like you are in charge. You are responsible for doing what you believe God wants you to do. Can that be a reason why, because of that, you are suspending to enter into any relationship? Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You see, we don't enter into relationships because we think we must enter into a relationship. The purpose of relationship is marriage. If it is not marriage, relationship is not important. There's no courtship if there's no marriage. It is unbelievers who say that let's be in a relationship, and they're in a relationship, that's all. But believers, it is when you have your mind on marriage that you enter into a relationship. And you are not ready for relationship if you are not ready for marriage. In your thinking, in your mind, in your way of doing things, if you are not matured for marriage, you're not matured for a relationship. Number 2, if you are anxious to enter into a relationship, it means it's not time. It means it's not time. Because when it's time, you will not be anxious. Because you will see that the thing I'm doing is a very deep and serious thing. It's marriage. So I have to take my time and enter into the thing. So I said that men who are anxious to enter into a relationship or even anxious to marry, they are not ready. And I said Adam was even sleeping when God brought his wife. The guy was even sleeping. God told him to go to bed, sleep. And when he woke up, the wife was there. So when the time comes, you will see that anxiety will not be the problem. The issue will be carefulness. In fact, fear. Fear. Because you are so careful that you don't want to make a mistake. You see? Not that you just want all my friends. Those things, they don't come in at all. When it comes to marriage, it's not about your friends. It's not about your siblings. Say, oh, my friends are getting married, so I must get married. No. You everybody and your time when you are ready.
So the first one about praying to God.
Yes, you can pray to God, but you see, you can tell God what you want, or you can also tell God to give you what He wants.
And please, will He answer that prayer?
Oh yes, He will answer that prayer.
So you bring the person.
Yeah. If He doesn't bring the person, He will bring the person's sister. Somebody like the person. You have a mic already.
I would like you to clarify the age controversy when it comes to relationship. Age, the matters of age.
Okay, be specific. Like age.
Let's say the man is 60 and he's in a relationship with a 27-year-old girl. Let's say the guy is 30 and he wants to be in a relationship with a 20-year-old girl, a 19.
Okay. You see, the age difference, it matters, but it doesn't matter. The reason why I say it matters, it doesn't matter. You know, there's this man. The most important thing is who is directing you. There's this man called the Prince. The first wife he married, the wife was older than him by 30 years. And he said that God asked him to, and of course the prince is not a novice. He's a very real man of God, mature person, and he knows the voice of God. God said, "Go and marry this woman," and God has spoken to the woman too. So they got married. It was 30 years difference. So that he said that he will go and preach, and then people will go and shake the woman and say, "Oh, your son really blessed us." Because she was old enough to be his mother. Then his second marriage, the first one died. Second marriage to the woman he married, he was 20 years older than the woman. So it's like God was just stretching him like that. Okay, so the age difference, where the age difference matters is that, you know, let's say you are now you are married, okay? You are older than your wife by 20 years. Okay. Now, so as you are 40, or let's say 50, your wife is 30. there are certain issues that can crop up because at 30, what a woman desires, what she's looking for, how she wants things, may not be what the man is also looking for or how the man is looking at things at age 50. And that has been a problem to some people. Some people say that their wives are too frivolous and too, it's like they are too girly, too childish, too this, because he is growing older and older and is thinking more about certain things. And she wants to now that enjoy her life and all that. And there's always that disparity. It gets to a point where even issues of sex becomes a problem because of this wide age difference. So ideally, but then there are people also who have been able to overcome that because they are so well suited, well adjusted. So ideally, I believe that if the gap is like, let's say, between 5 to 10, it might not be a problem. It might not be a problem. But the best, I believe, should be a gap of like 5 years or, at most. I cannot see that. It's not a rule. Okay, but personally, I believe that would be okay, but it's not a rule. Well, you go and marry somebody who is old enough to be your father. I mean, it's not. It will not help you. People have various reasons for marrying, but the Bible says you are enjoyed with the wife of your youth. You see, so it's like the two of you must be. There must be in a generation. You are in one generation. You understand? Not somebody in this generation coming to marry somebody in this generation. The generational gap is too wide. So there's no hard and fast rule. But the most important thing is if the two of you can go on well. But ideally, wide age gap, they don't help. If it is too wide, it will not help you. They are what? Bomb
in a sense
what
that
is bomb?
In a sense that they are not romantic, like they are too spiritual, like
They are too spiritual.
And they are weird. I mean, the way they were talking, but they didn't know I was listening. And so I was just thinking, so one day, one brother, like and he was like, he called me on phone, and all I was saying was, if you want to be in ministry, then you should start praying. I mean, pray very well, else you won't get a husband. Women in, spiritual women, like women who wants to, be in ministry, they have this problem of marriage. And the way he was trying to make the thing was like, you cannot hold the broom and the mic at the same time. The way he was. And I was, so, and I've had several, sisters or friends who also want to be in the forefront, and because of this thing, they are very tense, and so they later on, one of them was saying that if the brothers in the ministry are saying it, then I think it's better I go outside and get somebody who will see, and I was telling her that she said it's better to marry an unbeliever who will see the woman in you and then acknowledge you, and then than rather a brother who sees you as spiritual and is looking down on the fact that you were a woman and then maybe you are prophetic or you are apostolic or something like that.
You see, It's immaturity. It's immaturity. Because if you are a Christian, now why do you have to? Why in the first place, you the brother, the Christian brother, why don't you grow? You understand? Why don't you grow in the things of God and become spiritual or become something, rather than saying that the ladies are too spiritual and that they cannot? It's a wrong mindset. It's a wrong. And who told you that if you are a lady and you are involved in the things of, you don't get a husband? It's totally wrong. It's totally wrong. You see, getting a husband is not about how you can scheme and try to get a husband. No. There's somebody that God has prepared for you. Once you are in the will of God and you are doing God's will, God will send the person your way. Somebody will pray and fast to get you. I'm telling you. You see, they say these things to discourage women from going all out for Christ. It's never true. It's never true. So, if you are spiritual, if you get involved in the things of God, God will have a way of meeting you and giving you your desires. You only have to scheme to get a husband. God will bring the man your way. Do you understand? I hope it's clear.
Daddy, please, with this role models thing and then this marriage thing, one lady actually she believes she's supposed to, she has a similar calling like that of Juanita, and then she's supposed to, listen to Juanita, and somebody actually discouraged her. There was this notion that people, especially like Juanita and Cindy, Trim, them, if you follow them, well, the person actually discouraged her that Juanita did not, succeed in her marriage, so she shouldn't actually. So she still rejects, and you can see that she has that similar calling like Juanita, but then she has just rejected that oil because of that thing, that she didn't succeed in her marriage and all those things. So with this role model, and then
you see, there are many people who are ministers, women ministers, and they succeeded in their marriages. You can talk of Joyce Meyer, Gloria Copeland, or Rita Hagen. It's not. You see, these are. We have bad examples, okay. Then we have good examples. So look out for the good examples and follow and be encouraged by the good examples. If Joyce Meyer is a woman minister and she's able to stay in marriage, it means you can also be a woman minister and stay in marriage. The thing, for instance, Juanita Bynum, she was saying it herself. One of the reasons why she could not stay in a marriage was because, she was a preacher, she was popular, she was wealthy, and she had more wealth than the husband. She was more widely known than the husband. And she could preach. People responded to her preaching than the husband. And so it was a problem from the husband could not relate, like insecurity. And maybe she too could not submit because she felt that, after all, people like my books, people like my teaching more than they do yours. Like, look at Joyce Meyer. Her husband is not even a preacher, but she always says that her husband is her spiritual, her father, her covering, her role model. The man is a matured Christian, has been a Christian, and he really helped Joyce Meyer, to be who she is, even though he hardly preaches. You understand? Yeah, so look out for the good examples. The fact that somebody has done it, it means that it is possible. God is not against women who are in ministry. He's not against that. He's not against, because if he's against women who are in ministry, why did he call a woman? But the trend has been that most people don't have solid foundation, and because of that, they don't go through God's process and God's dealings, and because of that, when God elevates them in the ministry, they don't know how to balance their ministerial role with their home role. Like you said, holding a broom and a mic at the same time. If you are a woman minister, you go out there, you minister, you heal the sick like Catherine Coleman, you preach the gospel, you are an evangelist. When you come home, you are a wife, and in the home, your anointing doesn't count. You see, in the home, it's not your giftings, it's authority. So the man has been placed over you, like he's at the gate of the house. He carries authority. So you may be gifted, more gifted than your husband, but he has more authority than you. Especially if he's a Christian. You see, you may be gifted, more gifted. You may be somebody who has visions and dreams and all that. Giftings don't indicate your rank. The fact that you are gifted doesn't mean that you have a rank. No, it's not giftedness. Ranking comes with authority. If God has placed you here, you may not even be gifted. I mean, I can give you several examples of people, that men of God, that we might say they are not gifted, as in how others are gifted. And yet, you go to the Spirit, you see their rank, the rank they are occupying. So it's the same thing. If God gives you a gift, you are a lady, use it. Don't be afraid. Okay? Don't be afraid. God has called you to the ministry as a lady. Be free. Step in. Be free. I mean, do what God wants you to do. And you like the things of God. Continue. Do it. It's not written anywhere that if you are a lady and you are too spiritual. And what is too spiritual? You are just doing the things that God wants you to do. You are living your life. You are doing ministry. You are doing that. God Himself knows who best can manage that gift in you. And if you don't rush and you wait for God, God will bring that person your way who can manage that gift. Someone like Joyce Meyer's husband, who will not be intimidated by the wife's gift, but can even shape it and nurture it for it to come out better. Okay, so we'll end the question and answer session here. Grandpa is here, and I want you to. He's coming to share his heart with us, and I want you to open your ears and your heart, and you can be taking notes, but listening more, because it's being recorded. So listening more, you can be taking some point by listening more. Then you can get the recorded. So